What I like about this particular exercise is that it's easy to think that these flowers are all kind of the same value. And it's easy to see, it's a little bit tricky. I like this because it really trains you all to see light and dark value and to kind of push it in places. That's like an okay thing. So my first question is, what direction is the light coming from?
From the right?
Mm-hmm. How can you tell?
Because the shadows are on the left side.
Yes. So this part of the vase is almost, you almost can't see it, right? Which means that all the parts of the flowers on this side should be lighter. And anything that's kind of sticking out and catching the light from the right is going to be lighter. So what does that look like? Look here. I think it's really much easier to see the values. Oops. One more piece of tape here. So can you guys see this? Look at how it's light here, 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 here a little bit, and then here, right? The lightest parts, I'm going to draw them in. I just need to get some tape on this thing so that you can really understand how to kind of showcase lights and darks. So we've got this area to about here that's fairly light. This is super light. Right, that's light, a little bit of light there. And then this flower here in this section is super light. This is lightish, it's not as light. So you might look at the flowers in this area and think, oh, they're kind of like all the same, right, value. But when you really look at the values here, you'll see these very strong lights popping off. And this is kind of our focus at the beginning of the lesson. I'll get these in here too, right? Is really focusing on the light, dark difference. And even kind of doing what we call pushing it a little bit, which means you can push the contrast differences to make the painting more interesting. Does that make sense? So that means I might make this a little bit lighter in the end to really showcase the light coming through. Who else is coming in? Hold on. Does anybody have any questions about that? Hi, Rashmi. Does anybody have any questions about that? Good to see you, sweetie. So as we're starting the drawing, as usual, I want you really thinking about these. And in fact, here, I'm gonna like push them. I'm gonna show you these light areas. Where's my, this green, I'm looking for a, you know, light is really here. It's here. It's a little bit here. It's here. Look at how the light plays across the bouquet. These lightest areas play across the bouquet to really help us show turning. You know, this is easy to see, I think, right? This is kind of an easy thing to see. You can see it's light here, it gets kind of medium. And then the lights, then there's these dark areas, but the lights are like definitely darker than these two lights. So you can see that really clearly, but it's a little bit more difficult to see it in the plants. Let me take a picture and then we'll start drawing.
Very good.
Here we go. So here it is. And these yellow parts are really showing you, I'm sending it across the thread, are really showing you the lights. We're going to be emphasizing. Sometimes it's hard to see them. Okay. Enough of this talking business. Once again, we're going to find the top and the bottom here. Where's the highest point? and I'm going to draw a line through it. And then it's helpful to find the halfway point. There's two things that are going to be helpful for this. You know, I'm always helping you break things down into kind of shapes that take up space. You've got like this shape up here, its top and its bottom, the envelope, and then you've got this shape down here. Let's see, if I find the halfway point, I'm guessing it's going to be about, nope, up here a little bit more. 1, 2, and 1, up a little bit higher. I'll remark this once I get it. Yep, it's here. Here, mark this in a different color so you can really see it. So here's our halfway point, right? Even though it's not exactly at where the bouquet is, it still kind of helps us see this shape, this little package of shapes here. And here, I'm going to divide this in quarters too. Yep. And then across there's a couple of things I can do to make sure I get this shape right. It is true that I could totally draw a line across the widest part, right? From kind of here to here. I'll draw it like this so you can see it from here to here. And I could check that measurement. Let's see. That widest part is here, and it comes up to a weird measurement, kind of here on the things. But the other thing I can do is I can also check what we call the envelope. So if I were to draw an angle from the widest point out to here, this is the angle. Now, if I'm drawing it, you can use this as a negative space shape, right? Like that. Almost it's like two triangles. But if I'm just looking at it, here, I'll add this up so you guys can see me here. Really what we're going for, I can check my angle. So you can see that on the right here, I'm holding my arm straight. And you can see if you look at the camera that I am holding my angle, my pen absolutely straight, right? I'm not bending it down. I'm not bending it up like this. I'm holding it straight. And I'm lining it up with my angle. So I can actually come over here, and I'll demonstrate this again. Come over here and check it, right? The angle. So that's another, these are ways of kind of keeping everything proportional in relationship to each other, not trying to guess, but checking, right? Have what? Well, this angle should, this flower, this farthest out flower should come back from here. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. The second thing I'm going to do before I start drawing is I'm going to sketch red here. I'm going to start by kind of sketching the shape of the flowers first, the outside shapes, right? So these run into each other. This is kind of one big uber shape. Before I get the stems in, I'm going to put these flowers in, and let's see. And these red marks are our halfway points and quarter points. So when I come over here to get my sketch in, hold on, I sharpen the pencil here. Use these guys up a lot. Right, I can, you know, once again, draw my line down. Here, let me remove myself for a second. I'll come back when I'm going to show you how to check your angles. It's good to see this, right? Here's my top. Here's my bottom. And then I'll find my halfway point. Notice I get a little bit better at this once I do it longer. I was kind of shitty at it this morning. It's funny. It's almost like it's a training. It's like getting into kind of optimum. Wait a minute. Wait, here we go. This. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. I know that kind of right above this quarter point is where my base is. So I'm going to mark that down. So I have it. And then I've got this funky, let's see, kind of right above the quarter point. I can draw this line. Basically the width of my entire pencil. Bigger pencil. Yeah, that's about right. You can see that here, this is the same as the width. Is that, I think. Check it. Yep. But if I want to, I can start by kind of sketching this bigger envelope of shape for my flowers. It kind of bends in a little bit more here to the edge. That comes in this. And then I can actually get my flowers. Notice I'm not having you do the vase yet. I'm having you do easier things first. Here's flower number 1. And flower number 2. Right, it kind of bumps up here. There's flowers number 1 and 2, then I can just draw this line. And then these flowers almost touch, but not quite. Here's flower number 2. Flower group number 2, I should say. It's interesting, flower group number 2, although I know it's correct, feels shorter to me. It's not. This comes out a little bit more. This can come down a little bit. So I'm like kind of resisting my own feeling. Here, hold on. That things are not as they, kind of, that things feel different. That even though I'm focusing on these flowers, I'm going to take a picture of this. Oh, that's too. Just a second, I'm going to bring this down here so I can get it. I want you to really see the steps here. And I want to see your steps too. Don't feel like you have to rush them, right? Then I can like kind of pull in this flower. This right. Oh, that's what it is. I feel like my flowers have to come out a little bit wider on this side. I'll check that when I get the vase in. So really, it's more like a thinking, how do I think about this in a way? Notice I haven't drawn stems yet, and I haven't really gotten into details yet. I want to make sure everything's in the right places before I do. So when you think you've got this, show it to me. We'll talk about the vase. When you think you've got it to this point, send it over to me. Even though it probably feels weird, follow with the steps. Because I'm teaching something here about process. Notice I'm making some adjustments. And this feels, I think what I did here, I didn't bring this out enough, so I'm doing a couple of double checks. Yep, this needs to come out a little bit further. Which means that this also has to come out a little further. That's Annie. Yeah, that looks pretty good, Annie. I'll see one or two more and then I'll send it over. Then we'll start the vase. In fact, I'll start the vase now for those of you who are ready for it. So there's a tendency to want a shortcut. Like vases are actually strangely hard. They have more plane changes than you think. I'm going to be highlighting the first two here so you can really see them. Right? So our first step in our vase is this little lip, straight leg down, and then a straight leg over. Like an angled line, really. And then we know where the bottom is, right? So we can draw our kind of straightish line that curves up at the ends, just a little. And then draw a straight line down to meet it. So I went from here to here and then drew my straight lines kind of last. Yeah, Christian, looks good. That looks great. Do you see how much easier it is to kind of break things apart into pieces, right? Like there's always, what I guarantee, what happens is if we just kind of do this on our own, we miss, without measuring, without kind of making sure, if you're just kind of eyeballing it, these things get too big. We don't leave enough room for the stems. Now you can see that I totally can get my stems in. Right, because I know these have this lovely little, right? I can get my stems in knowing things are in the right places. I can also start to get my different shapes. So notice once again, I'm kind of angling out these straight lines before I draw down. So I'm kind of sketching in the medium part of the vase. By the way, I think you should pick your own vase color. Kind of design. You can go with what's happening here, or you can totally pick it yourself. And then if you want to, you kind of sketch in a little bit of the sort of shady parts. And I keep this side light. Shadows going up this way. Rashmi, good. Nice proportional work. I like it.
Thank you.
Although this, you have, there's, if you look here, you'll see this is a whole shade. This, you don't have a little
Yes,
petal
yes.
sticking out. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
Yes, yes, yes. I missed that.
Christian, good job. So yeah, this is more about part of my choices when I'm thinking about things for you guys to draw and paint, is I'm really thinking about what is going to sort of talk to you about in terms of how to start, how to end it. I like vases of flowers because you can kind of block off where the flowers are, block off where the vase is. Let's see. Okay, let's see a couple of things. This line is bending down like this, right? This is straight across and then up. There's no bending down, you're tilting down. The other thing is I don't think, well, let's check this, but I think you need to extend your flowers out a little bit more on this side. So let's talk about checking that now. Let's try this. So if you can see here, once again, I'm going to show you this measuring technique. It's a little confusing because you can't see me standing in front. So if you can see on the right, I am holding my pencil straight and my arm straight. And if you can see on the, camera that I'm lining it up with the angle of the flower to the edge of the vase, bottom edge of the vase. If I come here, that looks like that's pretty close. If I even want to, I can sketch in this shape. And now I can really check it. So you see how I'm holding my arm here to check that angle, keeping my pencil straight. Yeah, not bad. I could extend it out just a little bit further. That would be perfect. So you see how I'm checking that? Here's something really important. You can't go like this and then go like this. You change your angle to fit whatever you're looking at. So you've got, your arm has to kind of float. Great to check that. So Lucy, I would check that. I feel like your flower needs to extend out a little bit on this side so that you get this shape. I can do the same thing on the other side. Let's do it here. Let's see if I got it. Do this straight edge just for ease. So this is called the envelope. I can already see, I think I need to extend this out a little bit. This is called the envelope because if I was to make a special shaped envelope for this image, it would absolutely fit inside, right? Nothing would stick out. So let me try this again. Holding it up. Actually, that's pretty good. Let me look. I almost have to look at the camera and not at my arm. Oh no, I need to bring it. Yeah, I need to bring this out a little bit. I think I said that when I was, this flower needs to come out just a little bit. So does this one, so that I can check. I knew that. Racers. Never seem to keep them. They walk away. And racers do. All right, let's get this one. So I'm erasing this line. I'm extending it out, and then I'm going to check again. See if I have this in the right place. So let's see. Holding my arm. Yep. Oh yeah, that's better. See that? Stuck it out more. My angle matches more. Yep. Better, Lucy, there's still something a little lopsided about this. There's also something lopsided about your top. Can you see it? Oh, penguin, penguin.
Yeah, but the proportions are a little bit wrong, so
You're fixing it? Okay. Can you see what I'm saying, Lucy? What I'm seeing is this. It's tilting on the top and it's still tilting on the bottom. So straighten this up. It's hard to go from Procreate to working by hand, isn't it? Yeah, I should remove my. So ultimately, of course, we're moving away from you drawing on your flat surfaces. We're just doing this because we've got more of a beginner mindset here, right? So I'm trying to illustrate them for you, but ultimately you have to be able to do this by hand, right? Which is how you do this with a three-dimensional object. Let's see. This over. By the way, what I like about this, Lucy, what you're helping us understand is that drawing isn't just about seeing, it's about making your tools behave the way you want to. That's a huge manual dexterity issue. It's not just about seeing and conceptually understanding. It's then making this do what you want it to do. And different tools do different things. Let's see, Annika. Yeah, Annika, you're also having a little bit of a slant.
Mm.
This needs to be straight at the bottom, straight at the top. And I think you need to expand out a little bit on either side, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think you'll see, let's see. Oh yeah, also this needs to be a bit wider. You'll need to expand this out a little bit more on that side.
Okay.
Bonnie, excellent. I can see this really helped.
Yep.
Did you check the
Definitely.
angles?
I did.
Yep.
And even
and
more.
expand things. I think, let's see. Do you have this more right or do I have it more
This
right?
one, I think I have to adjust a little bit.
Yeah, a
Because I
little
have
bit on
Christian-
this side, but not too much. Very nice. Christian. Excellent. Yes, and I can see, so, Christian, I think you're a little wide here. I would bring it in a little bit on this side.
Somehow the vase seems to be too
Wide.
Thick.
Too wide, too thick.
wide.
Yeah, so just bring it in. You have it out
Okay.
here, right? Just bring it in on this side. You'll also observe that your flower on this side kind of is taking, like the vase is coming up too far. If you come see here, right, where this line goes,
Oh yeah.
you see what I'm saying? It's everything is relative, right? Once you establish kind of a certain set of things, you use that to determine where everything is, however small. And then of course, yes, now you can add in your lights. Right, the way you see them. I really like poppies. I feel like they have a lot of structure. So they're fun to paint. Right there. So like painting a daisy, it's okay. Paint irises, poppies.
That's good to do.
It really. You see all my extra lines here where I was changing things around.
Leah,
Yeah.
I imagine you're trying to do lights and darks, but you look like
yeah.
you're kind of doing an inner line on each of your outer lines.
We can, it's
Well, those
really
are
bad
lights
quality.
Those are, I see. So those are lights and darks. Yeah. Did you guys miss the very beginning when we were talking about that?
No, our quality of thing is really bad, so we can only, it looks like you're just kind of tracing the outer lines again.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
our
getting-
picture is really bad. Our internet connection's bad.
I'm getting the lights and the darks in. So you go ahead and do that and I'll send a picture across WhatsApp so you can see it. How's that? I know I hate it when WhatsApp does that. Such a pain. Yes, I am. By the way, Oscar, very nice job on your teapots last week.
Oh, thanks.
I feel like the lesson really kind of took hold with you. Am I right on that? Kind of made sense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there wasn't any shouting siblings or cooking parents in the background. So
darn those cooking parents. Okay, Emma, I'll take a look at that in a second, but let me send this over to you so you guys can really see it. Work off the WhatsApp thread. There we go. Let's see. And this is why we have it, right? Because sometimes the internet sucks. Also, it's a really great way to share work. So you can see what everybody's doing. You can see if like you indeed are making the same mistake or you're all getting the same thing right. You know what I mean? That's kind of the nice. That looks pretty good, Emma. I feel like this flower needs to come out a titch. This one here on the very left. And I think this one needs to come up a little bit. Here, I'll take another picture of this so you guys can really see. Here. There we go. So Emma and Oscar really use that. Got it. Good job, Rashmi. Great work today. Your eye is on, lady. The eye is on. You can bring this down a little bit on the right, on the right side here. Can you see how this, it's less of a curve and it's more of a straight line, and then there's this little tiny triangle.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Good. Your eye's on. Good job. I love it when that happens. Let's see. Oh, Lucy, much better. I mean, you're still a little bit, I don't know what's going on. Christian, can you help her with that? She keeps, this keeps happening. Right? So try this. Erase your bottom line completely. Everything else looks great, Lucy. Your flowers look great. Everything looks great. But this line is still tilting. So this really needs to be straight across and then up. Straight across, up. Not down and up. Right? Not down and up on that side. Hard to see it. Sometimes you just make yourself crazy. Trying to see something. Sometimes you have to step back to really see it. Sometimes I think, no, that can't possibly be the solution. And then I step back and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the solution. Weird. Who would have thought? There you go. Good. It's hard to see it yourself sometimes. Also, there's this thing that happens. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it, where you're like, you lay the line down in pencil and then you're like, I just can't seem to change it. I like to say you fell in love with your lines. You want to marry your lines. You want to marry your lines because you fell in love with them so much. So it's easy to think, it's really good to kind of get in the mindset, I'm probably going to change my first set of lines rather than, oh, nope, these are perfect. And by the way, I'm going to erase.
I just got to jump in. That happens in science so often.
Does it? How so? Can you tell me?
Well, someone makes a theory and then it doesn't quite work, so they add another kind of complication to it and
They're
keep
attached
adding.
to they're attached to their
instead of
theory.
finding something new that is much simpler.
That is such a good observation. Yes, it happens in science. It probably happens in journalism. We have a theory about what we think is happening, and then it isn't that way, and it's hard to let go, right? Because it's your idea.
Here is the angle. Go
Yeah,
find
yeah. Change the angle, and then you work the story, right? So, what do you do when you're in science? You redesign the experiment. You rethink it. In writing, you change the angle until you've got the angle right. You're nuts. And in drawing, we change our lines if they're going the wrong direction. We try not to get too attached to them. But it's funny how intellectually we're so prone to doing that.
Or as Picasso said, kill your darlings.
Kill your darlings. Kill your darlings. Yes, great observation. Kill the darlings. You can't be too attached to anything until you know you've got it in the right places, right? Don't be too attached. Don't assume you know. Mine is, my base might be a touch too thick. Is that happening? See, talk about not killing your darlings. I'm going to bring my vase in just a touch because Christian, when I looked at it, I saw at that. So the very thing I was telling you, you did, I did as well. I don't know if that makes you feel better.
A little bit.
Yeah, right. So I'm bringing it in, right? It does, right? It's like, oh, it's so easy to like, yep, there we go. That's a little bit better. Maybe too much now. Somewhere in here, I will get the right. There we go. That's better. Lucy, does that make you feel better? My base, I didn't get my base right either. It's easy to get things too thick or too thin. I'm just saying. It's a whole, but what I like about this way of drawing that I'm thinking about is that I don't feel the pressure to get it exactly right because I know what I need to do to make it right, right? I know that. I now know this is the set of steps I take. There we go. See, as I'm correcting, I'm totally correcting the whole time. I know the sets of steps I need to take to make this work. Like, I know what I need to do. So I don't feel the pressure as much because like, I know what I need to get right first and then what details are important to get right. I really can't get the lights and darks in until I get the outer shapes of the flowers, right? It seems a lot, it's really quite logical. But there's always this resistance. I like things where the pressure is off, where all I really need to see are the bigger shapes. Let's see. Here. Oh, Rashmi, isn't that pretty? So pretty. Christian, excellent. Excellent. Beautiful. Okay. All right, everybody. Are we ready to talk about painting? Can we do this?
No, I still need to send mine. I'm almost
Send yours in. Don't worry. I'm just going to slowly get there. For some reason, it wouldn't totally print the bottom here, but you can see the colors. I'm going to recommend you change the color of your vase, or you can stick with this color if you like it. It's green and red. It's kind of pretty, but you don't have to stick with it. What we're going to be paying attention to is values. So with these flowers, and let's talk a little bit about warm and cool. What do you think? Are these reds? Here, hold on. There we go. Do you think this is a warm or a cool red? Or maybe some combination?
I'd say red is generally warm, but those reds are cooler than most red.
Actually, although it's true that red is generally warm, every color has a warmer and a cooler version. And some colors behave as neutrals. They can be either warm or cool. Who is that, Sandra? Who we have?
Oh, that's Leon.
Hey, Leon.
We escaped again.
Hi. What a little cutie. I just love his little face. Here, come on, Leon. Show us your little face. Come on. Oh, he's doing that cat thing. He's totally, I was going to add the spotlight. Let's see your face. Let's see your face. Oh, no face. Oh my God. You are so cute. So cute. Sorry, I had to do that.
What are you painting today, Sandra?
He escaped again. And not only that, to my horror, he escaped in the neighbor's garden, and his back gate was open. And it was slamming in the wind. Thank God that Leon didn't venture there. When I realized, I ran over.
Right.
Oh, every time he gives me fright.
Yeah, Hermes does that too. He got out twice yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
They love exploring males too.
All right. Here is two different reds. Which one is warm and which one is cool?
I get all our red.
Which one is warm? Which one is cool?
First
one on
one
the
is
left
warm,
is warm.
second one is.
The one on the
cool.
left is warm, right? That's cadmium red. The one on the right is cool. I actually think we have kind of a combination here. I also feel that there is just a little bit of yellow. In some places, there's kind of an orange. So I might want a little bit of yellow on my palette. I happen to have a cool yellow. We'll see how well that works. In fact, maybe I should grab a warm yellow. Here, hang on. I'm going to get a warm yellow as well, so you can kind of see the difference and we can test it. Right? Cool yellow has more white in it. Warm yellow. Look at that. Look at the difference between those two. That's a warm yellow. It's almost orange. Warm red, almost orange.
Nick, when George comes back, can you do something with him?
Yeah, yeah. Sure, give him to me. Oh, Christian, look at that face. Did you guys see this?
Let's see.
The neighbor's cat, not even your cat.
We don't have a cat, but
We have a cat.
You have a
Oh,
cat.
sweet.
He's so lovely. What a little cutie pie. So cute. So
What's his
cute.
name?
Simba.
Simba,
Simba
like,
like
the
the
lion.
lion.
Cool.
He looks like a Simba.
Mhm.
He acts like one too.
Yes, I bet he does. All right, because we're dealing with red flowers, what other color do we need to help us with our shadows? Anybody have a guess?
Green.
I knew Diana was going to be there. Why did Diana say green? Diana, don't say why. I know you know.
No,
You can see Diana lives by the credo of why we have green, right? This is absolutely how she operates. As you
They're
are.
complementary color. They are
Yes.
complementary to each other.
Thank you. Thank you, Abrashmi. So that means when we mix them together, we can create the shadows, right?
Right.
We're not looking for a red that's dark. We're going to mix our red. And then I think there's a bit of white as well. We got a little white here. I think we might need some white, but we'll see. Let's see. So once again, I'm going to have you mix. Let's see. Oh yeah, Emma, that looks good. Looks great. Oscar, looks great. Oscar, although I'm going to say that you're going to need to extend your flower a little bit more this way. I did the same thing. Can you see how my initial flower is kind of scrunched up? This is actually my initial line. I didn't even get rid of it. Because you want to have, right, this shape. If you see, you'll see that your flower on this side is kind of more about here, which is going to create a different, a sort of cut in triangle. So go ahead and pull this guy out. Otherwise, that looks really good. Great work, teens. The teens are doing good. So, as usual, I'm going to take a flat brush, which I like. I'm going to try mixing. I believe that it's a little bit on the cooler side with some warm. I don't think it's full on red. Oh gosh, I totally forgot. We should do a underpainting. What color should we do for our underpainting? Anybody have ideas? Thoughts on that?
I had to go with green.
You go with green, right?
Green.
Let's do that. I'm going to take this big brush. I'm going to take a little green. I like that idea. And then I'm going to go in the darkest places first. And in here.
Are you doing acrylic?
Yeah. And it's dripping, but I like that, so I'm going to let it stay. If you don't like it, don't worry. I'm doing the darkest parts first, so you guys can really see what they are. A little bit in here. Kind of dark in here. And there's this dark shade here. Here. And then, of course, this is definitely determining that I'm going to. So this is these are my darks. I'm going to take a picture of this. So you can see the map of where they are. And then maybe I'll add a little bit of cool yellow to lighten my green, make it kind of limey for my lights. Even more. I'm using tons of yellow right now. I'm not caring about red. I'm just wanting. And I'm not caring too much about detail. I'm really pushing the light darks. And look at how dark I've made this side. It's totally okay. I can make it darker because we're working with watercolor. Actually, I'm going to go back over here and darken my darks so they're even darker. See how I'm going back in and laying my darks in, so it's really is dark. Add in my shadow here. I'm even my marks are even kind of sloppy. I don't know if anybody can see how sloppy my marks are. I'm paying attention to lights and darks, but then I'm gonna even lighten it even more for the lightest parts. And let's just get in a little bit of color around. This is mostly with water. Oops. Does anybody find the underpainting kind of fun to do? Does anybody enjoy it?
Yes,
Yes. Tell me why.
because you see the shapes and it gives you an idea what the painting is going to be. You see the shapes and you see the darks and the lights so much more
Clearly.
yeah.
Right? It's like a simplification.
Yeah.
And you realize that 80% of your painting is really those things. Right? Your lights and your darks. Anybody else enjoy the underpainting?
I actually find it a bit scary because I can't really, I always think I'm never gonna get the green out of the picture again.
Interesting. But totally, like, I totally believe you when you say that, but of course, you know by now that
Yeah.
it actually helps, right? If you can see these first layers, they're so watery, right? And they're kind of flat. So we kind of need these, but I like that intellectually you're like, I don't think this is right. Anybody else? What else are your feelings about the underpainting? Does it seem like a waste of time?
Absolutely
at
not.
first I was like, I couldn't believe that you were doing the opposite color
Until you see
it
how
was getting painted over, but then it
it looks so amazing, doesn't it? It's it looks so badass. And here's the theory that's at work. You remember when we put complementary colors next to each other, right? Like this. So if I just come here and I put this red next to this green, you'll see they're popping each other forward. And then when we mix it, of course, right, we get a sort of muddy version, right, which is a great shadow. But when you layer them on top of each other, it's a little bit like putting them next to each other, but more so. It's a little bit more subtle, but it's similar. So there's a popping that happens. All my blue skies, for example, start with orange or kind of a yellow orange, because I know when I put blue on top of that, it's going to have this kind of warmth, and my blues are going to feel stronger than if I just lay blue white down. So interesting. All right, this is going to take a minute to dry, so I'm going to wait while you guys do it. Send me yours.
So this is just yellow over that green, this yellow mix.
Yellow
Or have
and
you mixed
yellow and green.
yellow
Can
and
you
green?
see it? See
So
the
that's
mixture?
yeah, that's a lemon yellow and.
I mean,
with the
it
green.
doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter which one. Just this is a lemon yellow, but you could mix any. I just took the lightest, the one that I had the most of.
And mixing it with the same green that you use for the dark, right?
Yep. I only have one green here on the palette. I'm using everything that's on this palette. Nice work, Ani. That looks lovely. Look how different Onyx and mine look. And look at how the directions are still, as long as the directions are being followed, how nice it looks. I like how you have your darks. My lights got a little bit dark, which is okay. Let's see if I can pull them out a little bit. Mixed in my flowers. I like how you did that. Really, look at how she really pushed her lights. So she's pushing her lights. She's making them more even stronger. And that's something that really effectively works. Yeah, I'm just layering paint now. We'll just let it dry. Very nice.
Thank you, but that was just accident. I tested new green.
That was not an accident, my dear. I know what I'm looking at.
I really liked underpaintings, and sometimes I just wanted to stop at this stage. But then when it comes to painting as such, I hate the first layer. The 5th layer is the best.
Yeah, the 5th layer is the best. Totally.
I think that's where I am with my penguin.
Your penguin. We were discussing the Swedish word for penguin, which is really cute.
What is it?
Penguin.
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 In French, it's penguin.
Penguin.
Yes.
Penguin. Penguin. All right. What is it in India? What is it in India? What is it? Give me another one. German. Penguin.
It's penguin. Nee,
Penguin.
Pinguin. Ich bin blöd.
Penguin.
Penguin. It is the
It's like
cutest.
almost like Swedish.
Yes.
Penguin.
Penguin. Oh, Emma, that looks great. Very soft.
It's beautiful,
I'm
Emma.
curious
I think it
to
looks
see-
very strange.
It does look a little strange, but you're going to pull it back in, right, as you get your, when you get your kind of upper layers in. I'm still waiting for this to dry. It's a little bit damp here. I might actually even pull out, where's my hair dryer? I have a hair dryer in the studio. I do not use it for drying my hair. Use it to dry my paintings when they're taking a while. So let's see if that helps. If you, I'm going to turn the sound off. So,
I think
right? Like, who cares about like your hair, but your paintings? Sure. That was like the dumbest. Dumb plug in all this space. slow down everything else. I love the underpainting myself. I feel like it's like this miracle magic trick. It forces you to simplify. I like things where like the beginning process is easy and I can sort of ease into the details. Like to me, that's like super helpful. All right, so now, let's see, I'm gonna clean up my brush. I'm gonna mix my darks. I'm gonna take a combo, mostly quinacridone, the cooler red, but with a little bit of the warm red in it. Then I'm gonna pull over a little bit of green. And look at the beautiful color that makes. It's like this beautiful, rich, you can't get this out of a tube. You know, alizarin crimson is sort of a burgundy, but it's just so much more beautiful to mix your shadow colors. Then I can come in here and kind of layer them in. As usual, I'm starting with my darks. I find that helpful in this process. Kind of the darker. Here. And look at how nice those, and then you have this extra emphasis of the darks, the reds laying on top of it. The reds laying on top of the green. And you've got this beautiful, rich color that you could not really get out of the tube. Notice I'm kind of moving around. I'm using less water, more paint now. I'm kind of moving around. And I'm using less dark because the areas are less dark. There's dark, but there's more light. Right. And then I can kind of clean up my brush and create maybe just a pink and red with no light. Let's see how that looks. Ah, already it looks great. Right, already I'm pleased. Number one, my red is really reading, as my light red is really reading beautifully. Number two, oh, look at that. So if I just put this on white, I have a little bit of white down here. Look at how flat that looks. When I put this in, it's so much richer. There we go. Yeah. I'm observing that as I get this petal in up here, it should be reading, it should be really popping forward from the back. So notice how I'm lightening it even more so that that happens. You'll kind of see as you start to lay things out, and this is pretty light back here too. In fact, if I want to lighten my red even more, I can add in a little bit of yellow. Then I'm just kind of moving around, getting my lights in. Even though my lights are lighter, perhaps than the source, I still think it looks pretty good. Look, I can actually even sort of put my lights. Oh yeah, they're really nice. That's like great. Also, I can see that my paint drifted out a little bit, so I'm actually kind of narrowing. Notice I'm kind of thinning out my flower a little bit here. And here, where it gets kind of darker in the petal, I'm actually kind of blending over it so that there's a transition to dark in this part of the petal. It's a little bit more subtle. I'm gonna bring this petal out.
Looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So fun, right?
Yeah, the flowers looks amazing, but your stems are too short.
They are. So maybe I'll bring down, oh, I know how to fix that.
Bring the vase lower.
Yep, just a touch lower. Exactly. So let's see, what's the quickest, easiest way to do that? I'm going to do this. Talk about not, oh, look at that. See, I'm bringing my stems. You're absolutely right. So what of course happened is, as I started to paint my flowers, they got bigger. So notice how I am just pushing my vase down a little bit. Isn't that interesting? Look at that. So I know it looks a little bit messy right now, but watch how I fix that. Let's see.
That's how I work all the time.
Right? You just sort of bring things down. Listen, it's like really easy, right, Diana, to get things too big. But that's what's great about acrylic. You can totally fix this. I'm going to take a small, I'm going to do a little, I'm going to try make my sort of inside yellow here. So here's what I'm doing. Look at how I'm bringing in background color. Talk about what a great example. This is why I never practice these, because I want you to see that it's really easy to make mistakes. And the more important question, can you guys see this? How I've just totally nipped, there's the top of my face. See, no problem. I'm also thinning out my edges here. It'll also really help. So notice the background, it helps. Yeah, there we go. So I've kind of added in my background, but will probably really help is if, let's see, I think, let's try a little Prussian blue. I'm gonna make my vase kind of blue color. So I'm now tinting my light side with a little bit of blue. There we go. The fix is in. See how I'm starting to give myself, I'm covering up areas I don't like. God, I love this process. It's so, to me, it's the most, I'm mixing a little bit of orange So that's red and yellow, right? In with my blue. So I have a kind of like sort of pretty dark. It's kind of looking a little purplish. I'm okay with that right now. I really love this process. It's like uber correctable. I think that's why I find the underpainting so comforting, because I know that if I move things around, which I'm bound to do, because I get kind of focused on an area, I can totally just paint over it. So just so that you can see this, I'm going to take this picture so you can see it. You can still see a little bit of my original pencil lines. They're up here for my vase. I just marked them so you can see it. Look at that. Totally just paint over that sucker. Yeah, this is why Diana's all relaxed, because she knows she can fix it at any time, because she's not attached to her where things are. There it is. Oh, you guys, these are looking so wonderful. Emma, that's just so beautiful. Honestly, Oscar looking great. Emma looking, these are just looking great. So now go ahead and start adding your lights and darks in. Then you can go back in and decide how much detail you want to put. Let me finish the, actually, I need a bigger brush so I can finish the flowers. It has a lot of white in it. Going to, let's see, want them more white. Right, then there's a slightly darker bit in here. It's kind of the medium section. Not doing every line, I'm kind of focusing more on dark and lights. Now I need a smaller brush. To be able to get my darker, right, this darker lines in here. So actually this is quite fun, this vase, because it's got like nice little shifts. You'll notice I'm not drawing every one. I'm not one of those type of painters. I don't really appreciate that. Some people do. You can be one of those types of painters, right? And that's totally valid. I really admire those types of painters. I don't really have the, I get bored with the painting before it gets to this point usually. Then it's kind of darker, right? And then I'm going to go over with my background, my yellow background. Just yellow and white. I got red in my background. This is more orangey. If I don't like it, if I feel like this is too much, I can change it. Right? This is what happens. You get these stripes when you don't mix enough. Boy, I'm just making every mistake. This is the mistakes lesson. Which is totally fine. As you'll see, I'm not stressing about, right? There's too much red on my brush. That was the real issue.
It's gonna turn out great when
It is. I like it. Yeah, right? Like, this is the way. Here we go. Look, I can, while it's still wet, I can get more yellow in there. I actually don't think a shift of tone is that bad. If I really like it, I can just kind of bring it in here. Oh, now that's starting to look kind of lovely. Also, there's a lot of background here, so maybe mixing up a little bit of color differentiation, not having it be all the same, will look kind of nice. Holy, this is a really nice painting. Who would have thought? I wasn't in the zone today. I wasn't thinking it would be. Sometimes when I do these demos, I really love what I do. Other times I'm like, okay, that was an exercise. But this one is kind of
You're gonna be able to
fun.
sell this one, Leah.
I think so. I think so. Maybe, or maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. They're kind of cute.
You keep some because you like them so much.
I do. I do. And I never know what it's going to be. But yeah, I do keep some because I think that's also not many. Mostly I'll sell. But like, yeah, there are some that I think are just mine.
Hmm. I'm less attached than I thought I would be.
Yeah, you've done a lot of painting, Sandra. And you know, it's practical, right? Like it's a storage issue. Like after a while, you're like,
Yes.
okay, this shit just needs to go because I just can't. Like, I don't have room for it. I don't have room in my psyche for it. I don't have room.
I mean, aside from some of my cats, because they're my cats,
Right.
if I were somebody came and wanted to see and buy, I think I would happily show them everything.
But like, you know, there's one or two rabbits you've done that I think that you keep, right? That are really.
Well, no, I think
Or
Katerina went
seals?
through all my rabbits.
Oh, she got all your rabbits.
Well, no, she didn't get all my
Interesting.
rabbits, but I gave her a choice of all my rabbits. And she
Oh,
took
really?
some. Yeah.
Interesting. I thought your rabbits and your seals were both paintings where you kind of made big strides, but maybe you did. Maybe you're like, okay, did it, done it.
Well, actually,
Alright.
I have a seal that I have framed for myself.
That's what I thought, because those seals were very important in your artistic process, in your development as an artist. I feel.
I think
you learned a lot from them.
I think I managed to do wet on wet, which I'm not managing to do again very well.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. You just have to get back in the zone, in and out of the zone.
But the seal really helped me because it's that kind of body.
Yeah, yeah,
Where
it
it's
really
only-
did. Well, and you know, it's interesting, like now your birds, your parakeets are really like working, you know, helping you, I think, in some ways too.
But they're the opposite of wet and wet. They're like
They're real super precise.
Yeah.
I would feel the seals were important for that reason. I have a couple of cityscapes I keep because I feel like they showed something process-wise, right? The seals were important. I remember thinking, oh my God, like she's totally getting it. In a weird way.
And then you
I
forget.
don't, right? In a
Then I
weird-
forget.
And then you forget. You just have to keep going. After you do this many years, you know, a few more years, you won't forget.
Right.
You just have to keep doing it. It's like learning a language, right? You wouldn't give up on another language that easily.
I guess because you've invested so much.
Right? You're practicing it.
It's a big intellectual investment.
It is an intellectual investment. This is as much of an investment. Learning to paint is as much of an investment as learning language. Now here's a really interesting point, you guys, because I'm at this point where I really like my loose lines so much. I'm not sure I want to go any further, right? Maybe I do. I'm going to take a little break though. But I'm really, because I've emphasized my lights and my darks so nicely, I don't know how much else I really need to do. So I'm going to sit and wait on it.
Yeah.
And I'll take a look at your work. Also, keeps wanting to fall
It's
off.
lovely, but I feel that the background is too strong and it's too yellow between the flowers.
All right, maybe I'll switch it.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
gonna sit and let it
try it.
dry.
I'm just saying, giving my opinion. You don't have to listen to me.
I like listening to you. I don't have strong ideas about these. I think it's nice. Like, yes, you're right. I should probably settle up the background. Also, I kind of mucked up the side here, but I'm gonna wait a minute. Ah, damn it. Get my tape. I'm gonna wait a little minute before I decide to do anything else. I'll take a look at what you guys are doing. You're all getting to this point. I'd say the drawing is still not intuitive for a lot, you know, like there's still a lot, we need help with the drawing. But I feel like you guys are starting to get to a point where color, you're starting to play with color a little bit, and I'm really enjoying the results. And also the brush. What can the brush do? What can the brush do for you? Actually, what I'm really feeling called to do is play with this. I lied. You know, so I'm curious. I wanted to pull that out of it. Oh, you're right. My yellow is totally competing with my font. We will fix that. Right now, I'm kind of pushing some of my lights. I want them to be a little bit lighter. Some people will be like, oh my God, I can't get every little thing that's happening with the petals. And my argument is you don't really have to. Just get kind of the suggestion of the things. Oh yeah, that's nice. Might brush on. I'm just moving around and kind of pushing the light shapes a little bit, and I'm finding that I'm really liking that. So when I mean push the light shapes, I mean I'm painting in a little bit lighter, and then sometimes I'm going in around the light shapes and darkening it. Might go back in and push my darks just a little. There's also this nice, like, kind of super dark little bit, which is a good. Yeah, there's no, there's definitely, oh, nice. And I'm getting a little bit of drip, which I sort of like. Sorry, I'm totally not looking at your guys' work. Let me do that now. I know you've sent me stuff. I should have done more pictures. We've got about a half an hour, so we've got a lot of time. Actually, I'm gonna go quickly grab myself a cup of coffee. Text me if you need anything. I'll be right back.
So Sandra, what are you working on?
Well, I gave up on my kangaroo for now. And, well, I haven't completely given up, but it's just I don't like what I did with the background. I don't like the underpainting. I'm hesitant to waste more time on it. I think it would be an okay painting, but it's never going to be a great painting. So I'm working on the frog, which I haven't decided yet whether it's ruined or not.
Yeah, my penguin has a lot to wish for.
It's harder than I thought, that frog. The penguin, but the penguin, the nice thing is you can fix things.
Yeah.
Whereas
I am trying to do right now.
there's my frog for now.
Oh, let me put you on in gallery so I can see.
Can you do it?
Oh yeah, I can see it. Oh, it's so cute.
Well, but it's again, I kind of failed for wet on wet.
No.
We'll see. We'll see. It's just I'm not very. I need to watch more videos on wet on wet. It's I'm never fast enough, or maybe I don't wet the paper enough. I don't know.
You are doing great.
Thank you. It's so windy here too.
Oh, we had windy yesterday.
I don't like.
Yesterday was scary, Diana.
Yeah. Today it's fine here.
Yeah, here too.
Yeah. Penguin feet are crazy looking.
They're like these big webbed feet.
Yeah. It's like a mixture of birds and
ducks, I guess.
And, yeah, and dinosaurs.
When I was looking for penguins, there was one species that I really liked because they had yellow feet, but I couldn't find any good pictures of them.
Yeah, I looked it up. This was one of Nick's. Oh.
Ah, good. I thought it was.
Yeah.
Because I saved quite a few, and it was exactly the sort of penguins that he photographed.
Yeah. Hey, sunshine. Here comes a dog that doesn't.
Your beast is very quiet nowadays.
Yeah, but now
Which is
she's
good.
coming to tell me that she wants to go out.
Oh, well, you better eat that.
Okay. Okay, sunshine. Let's go.
Right. Yeah, look at how that blue. So there's just a touch of green in that blue, which totally pushes that red. Wonderful. You've inspired.
Leah,
Yeah.
I've really got a problem because our reds, we haven't got any light reds, which means to make them light, we have to mix them with yellow or white. And if you mix it with white, you get a pink or like a muted red. And if it's
Yeah,
mix
you
it with
don't want to
yellow,
mix
it's-
it. You definitely don't want to mix it with you definitely don't want to mix it with white. You want to mix it with
Yeah.
little bits of yellow. White will flatten it. So you see how I'm putting white into my background? That's
Mhm.
because I'm trying to get my background to be less vibrant than my foreground.
Yeah,
So my
yeah.
subject.
The thing is,
So
I tried
white-
mixing it with yellow, but that also kind of muted it.
What colors do you have? Tell me. Vermilion, What
Okay,
do you
wait,
got?
the lightest red is,
cadmium red?
no, that's, yeah, vermilion.
Vermilion. Vermilion's not a great light red. You guys can get a hold of cadmium. The cadmiums, you'll
Councillor
really
Hansen.
like that.
That's
You should
cool.
recommend Hansa.
Yeah, but that's what you want.
Hansa is
Ha-
much cleaner than cadmium.
Hansa?
Yes.
I'm not I mean, I would get them both. Cadmium is limited in its purposes, right? It's really orangey.
But
But
Hansa has got several shades and it mixes really well. It's much better for the environment.
She just decided she doesn't like the
that's true. Cadmiums aren't really
You
good.
can't, it's like you don't like your bike, so you get a new bike, but you can't afford a new bike. Have a look
You're
in there.
telling
There
me
are
you
lots of
can't afford a new color?
these.
I would say, oh yeah, Diana, look at how much nicer that looks. How much nicer that looks. Good.
Red. Oh wait, sorry, we're unmuted.
You are. Don't talk to your mother like that. Yeah, vermilion is a kind of a,
Orangey red, right?
yeah, it's a kid's red is what it is. It's for kind of kids sets. And I've never really, it's not like, I mean, I'm sure there's specific uses. There's probably somebody who has a great use for it, but I rarely see that in palettes for adults. Oh yeah, look at that, Diana. That looks
What color? Yeah, that's much better. What
Yeah.
color are you talking about?
Vermilion.
Vermilion red. It shows up, I was saying it shows up in kids sets a lot.
I
But-
love vermilion.
Mm.
See, I knew it. Somebody, but you, so is that like
I do too.
standard in your palette?
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
it gives me the best kind of pinks for
Yes, very nice.
eyes and yeah, it gives a
Interesting.
wonderful pink.
It's also in my like Sennelier, so my French brand sets and all my Asian sets like Holbein. And
Yeah. That is a very popular. So it's like, so I guess what I should say is like a lot of kids sets are made in China, right?
no, I'm not talking about China. I'm talking about top Japanese and Korean brands.
Top
I'm not talking
brand.
about rubbish.
You're
I'm
not
talking.
talking.
I'm not talking
Um,
about rubbish.
So anyway, there's this, the point is try a bunch of things. Add a cadmium, add a Hansa. You know, do what else? I really like, yeah, I mean, I have my likes, what I like. Everybody has what they like. You'll find what you like. You'll find it as, you'll find it as you test it. To see kind of what it does for you, what it'll do certain things that you'll like. So are Hansas more on the red
No,
or the orange, on the orange?
They're
scheme of things?
beautiful yellow, and there's like a light, a medium, and it can almost go from lemon yellow to very warm, like close to a camboge or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Boge. Yeah. What a wonderful, that's a wonderful color too. Super.
And I read something about
It's too bad Jessica's not here because I know she would
Yeah,
totally
exactly.
have an opinion about this. She would have tried it.
Here, I found something. Hansa is similar in hue to cadmium yellow, but Hansa is transparent. Well, this is for watercolor, right? Where
Right.
this is
Right.
important.
Well, that's
Brighter,
same. But yeah.
brighter and has a higher tinting strength. Because of the latter, it goes in further in mixture. It's also less expensive and weighs less per ounce, I guess, which is important for the plein air writing.
Nice.
But apparently it mixes very well. And let's see, that's it.
Yeah.
It says here, paint. This is Daniel Smith. Painters admire the purity of his primary pigment and ability to adjust its temperature while avoiding a gray from a hidden complement. Think of a yellow pepper.
So
They say
that's
Hansa is considered the perfect yellow, offering more control when mixing. It's a high tinting organic pigment. And it's cleaner, more transparent, and brighter in chroma than cadmium yellow light. Because we're looking at the Hansa yellow light, I'm reading this.
sounds like it's worth it. It's absolutely
like a
worth
winner,
it.
right?
Yeah, sounds like a winner. And here's and I like this description. Notice that as people mix their reds, their yellows, their blues, there will be other aspects of colors. So if we go to the red, for example, you'll see that the cadmium red has a little bit of yellow in it. It just does, right? There is no yellow in quinacridone. There's none. There's more blue in quinacridone, which means when I mix quinacridone with blue, I get a bluer purple. When I mix cadmium red with blue, I get something that looks a little bit muddy because there's the hidden complement of yellow, right? So I mix blue with yellow, I get something that looks a little bit greener, muddier, or blue with orange, right? I get something that looks a little bit muddier. But blue with a cool base red that has more blue in it is going to give me that sort of richer color that I need. However, I love having cadmiums in my set. I use them. I just only use them for specific things. Aquarelle is a little bit less transparent. Lucy, that's the problem with it. But so it's a little bit hard, like watercolor. So it's a little bit harder to layer. But maybe try. Do you have any acrylic paint? You could go on top with acrylic paint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Try
I could
that.
try that.
Why don't you
But
try that?
I have to wait for it to dry first, and yeah.
Yeah,
so
so that's alert, right? So they're not the same thing, and they require
Yeah.
different techniques. Yeah, but that's good. You learn. Yeah, I think the thing about like working with materials here, I'm gonna send this to you guys. The thing about working with materials is that unlike the Procreate, right? You can't take it back. I mean, you have to work with what's underneath. So it takes a little bit longer, but it is good to learn what the different materials do. Anyway, yeah, try it. Let it dry. Take a hair dryer to it. Let it dry faster. And then try putting some acrylic on top.
So what I can't get the really dark red, you know, the almost black red. I can't mix it.
You can't, wait a minute.
I can't mix it. Somehow it always turns out to be brownish or greenish. And
you need to tell me what color red you're
I have
using.
like 3 different. One is the cadmium, which I already put aside now.
Okay.
And the other one is called Carmine Red.
Oh yeah, Carmine's got all kinds of hidden complements that are going to be problematic.
And then there's some kind of red, but it only says red, unfortunately.
Okay, try a little, right, so you don't have any crimsons?
No.
No crimsons. So I would say, try, let's see, you have a couple options. One is you can try adding, to your different reds, try adding, let's see, those are all kind of orangey reds is the problem. So you're getting a muddy color rather than a rich.
Yeah.
And what green are you using?
It's this
Viridian?
No, this is called leaf green.
Oh, that's the problem. You're using a crappy green. It's kind of got a lot of yellow in it.
All right. Okay.
You have a dark, that's the problem. The problem is your green, it's not your red. Do you have a darker green? Do you have?
No,
Viridian?
this is the darkest green I have. The other.
All right,
the
then
other
what
one
I would
matte
do
green.
is, okay, take a look at the list because there's colors that are going to help you. But what I would do is try to mix a green from, try maybe like, what blues do you have?
The
Primary cyan and
blue.
blue and phthalo blue.
Phthalo blue. Try mixing blue and phthalo blue and yellow and adding a touch of that to one of your reds.
Okay.
Try that. See if that works. Might work better, but I'll send you the list.
Yeah. That is yeah, send it to me. I saw a list on the website, but maybe it's the wrong list.
Yeah, I'll send it over.
Oh.
Aurelia,
Yes.
see this brush? It's like, it would be like a round, except it's been cut like that. So
Yeah.
it's very short and thick. What?
Oh, shit. Sorry. I was trying to spotlight you and I accidentally unmute yourself, Sandra. I was trying to spotlight it. Show me again.
So it's like a round brush, right? But it's been
Ooh.
cut. And so it's really thick like this in the middle.
Are you liking it?
Or I don't know what to do with it. Yeah, I'm going to try it now.
Try it. Looks like it could be good for
I'm
background.
very attracted to it.
It's it looks like
Maybe
it looks like
for fur.
yeah, maybe for fur, maybe for a background. Might be kind of fun.
I'm going to use it to do ... kind of thing.
How cool is that?
But I was wondering what it's called, what it's for. I mean,
Right.
it came in a cheap set.
So Christian, just going back to this, what snuck up on you is the hidden complement of yellow, extra yellow in your green. And
Yeah,
that's
I
what
thought
was
so. That
making
was
everything.
muddy, yeah.
It's
I
too
thought so.
muddy. That's the biggest problem. But how is
now
this new green looking?
This
Is it helping
seems
a
to be
little bit?
working fine. I'm getting towards.
Yes, because it's
but,
a
yeah.
very strong green blue, so it kind of overpowers the yellow. Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
So I thought I was going to finish my penguin today, but I'm
Send
not.
it over, please.
I'm still in the correcting stages. Happens, but it's getting better. It's getting better, but it's not good color wise yet. I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to show? See, what else do people have?
But
I can show you my frog.
it came across so much darker, so I'd rather hold it up because
He
the
said, whoa,
picture-
whoa. All right. Oh, let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna
Oh, it's
add
nice, Diana.
Sandra, and I'm gonna add you, Diana. Hold on. I'm gonna add you both. Here's Diana.
we are in the green stages under.
You're in the green stages. Oh, magnificent greens, Sandra, and nice blending, color mixing.
I have actually mixed my greens this
I
time.
saw that. I can see that, and that's why I am especially observing that you have done some beautiful mixing
I
there.
have this look.
Oh, yes, yes, the mixing. Embracing the mixing. Embrace the mixing. This was a really fun one because I feel like this one gave us a lot of room. It showed you about simplifying lights and darks. Now you can get as detailed as you want. You can go right in here and add these, like, you know what I mean? If I wanted to, I could come in there and get this. I could go crazy with this, but you also don't need to, which is kind of nice. Like, one doesn't need to.
It's also nice to see how you fix mistakes, Leah, because I think
Yeah.
that's crucial. Too often, as beginners, you've made a mistake and you think you're
And you
giving
feel
up,
like-
you have to start over. And it's nice to see that it's, you
Yes,
can do things.
that you can do things. And that's like I said, specifically why I don't practice. And actually what's happened is I get so fast at fixing the mistakes. I'm not so good at even telling you that I'm doing it. I'm just doing it, right? As I'm doing it, like it becomes so much a part of the process. So that's what I want you guys to get as well. It'll get to the point where you're like, oh my God, I'm just fixing it. I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it. I'm getting it down. I'm laying it down. It's this like testing process where you're kind of testing, did I get this right? And sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. And it's real easy when you're working on things for things to get too big.
Need a granulating brown.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave you guys.
All right,
I'm
Diana.
gonna continue with my penguin.
With your
Will you join us
penguin.
tomorrow, Diana?
Penguin.
Oh, by
Yes.
the way, you had your thing last night. How did it go?
I went great.
Oh,
Annika, did you
fantastic.
see
Well
it?
done. So now you're going to be able to relax.
Yeah, a little
Just a
bit.
little
I
bit.
have to
Next one.
post the next. I have to post the next.
Wait, did you do your gala, the online?
Yeah,
Ah, excellent.
and
Excellent.
yeah, it's at lapressclub.org if you want to see a rapid fire award show. That's in at 26 minutes.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and no, it turned out good.
Well done.
Well,
There
that's
must be a weight
wonderful.
off your mind.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's always, and it can be like for layout during a class that if your internet goes down, the whole show is a shit show.
Right.
So nothing bad happened.
No, nothing bad happened.
Right. Oh
And
my God.
Annie was quiet all the time.
You had her in the room?
Yeah, I did have her in the room. Because I like a challenge. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
well
it turned
done.
out well. It turned out well.
Well done.
And now on to the next one.
How often do you have them?
Twice a year, but this year it's going to be 3 times because
Both. So when is the next one?
June 25th.
Oh my God. So now you've got to worry about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have to get the contest up online this weekend.
My
so-
God, what a fun class. Very fun. Good job, you guys. Oh, Christian, nice. This is coming along. I can see your darks are coming much better. So
Yeah,
now,
but-
Christian, start to pay attention to where these darks, sort of where the interlap comes between the light and the dark. So 1 or 2 midtones, but lovely. Lovely. That was a good save. Emma, nice. Is this Oscar's? Or is this one yours? I see it. Which one is this one?
No, that's hers. Mine's just coming.
All right. So Emma, you kind of lost the side of your, there's a lot of things I really like about this. I feel like your top, you kind of lost your top. So you would want to go in, right,
Yeah.
with the thin brush and maybe go over here. Let me show you. Take a slightly darker color and go over the edge so that you can come in here and kind of retrace in the edge, right, with any dark color. And then you can paint up to the edge with your other color. So look here, you'll see I've got this. I've run out of dry paint. Let's see. I can kind of paint right up to the edge of it. Why don't you see if you can fix that quickly? You will be happy. Happy that you did. It's funny, the structure of the flowers. Oops, where's my? It's like a Prussian blue.
Is Carlo blue also a nice colour? Nice word. Did you say yes?
I don't remember what is Carlo blue.
Sam, can you see how I'm kind of fixing this? Painting up to the edge with the other color, so I can't really see too much. I can also use my background. I can also take my background in, which is basically most supplies. Come here and pull it back. So now I can kind of come in here. So carve out, use a strong line to carve out your shape. The top of the vase, and then paint up to it. There we go. Keep losing my dark edge. All right, got a few more minutes, just a couple more minutes. So I'm going to remove the spotlights, go into gallery view, and I'd love you guys to hold up your pieces, just wherever they're at in the process. Here, I'll hold up mine too. Yeah, oh yeah, Lucy, that's already coming. That you see how nicely that started to come along? Nice, nice. Rashmi, let's see. Very nice, Annika. Nice, Rashmi. Excellent, everybody. Emma and Oscar, Natalia, super. Yep, Froggy, Sandra, very adorable. All right, you guys, great work today. I think we made a lot of progress on like kind of, I don't think everybody's finished with their painting, but I don't think that's a problem. I think you're all ready to keep going, and I think you should keep working on it and send them in. Nice work. Nice work. We'll see you all sometime next week. I'm starting to get a really rock star lineup of people to teach on Sunday mornings. So just you wait. There's going to be some really amazing classes coming up. I can't wait to introduce them. They're going to be great. All right, you guys, we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.